I'm going to show you how to do a chalkboard. You can use masonite board. There's Bogey's barking in the background. I like to use masonite board. I usually go to a Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, like a huge hardware store. And if you buy a big sheet of it from them, they will cut it up for you. For my religion class this last year, I had like little ones to try to help it, you know, make it fun for the kids because they're in school all day, and then Wednesday evenings they'd come to me and, you know, we'd be there for over an hour. So I tried to make it fun for them, and I made the boards for them. I also put one in my son's room a couple years ago. He was in Atlanta with my husband, and while he was away, I painted his whole room like a kind of a teal color, and I did a chalkboard wall in the corner of his bedroom, so it went around, you know, in the whole corner. And then I also put a dry erase board up, and I did this little dowel that I put hooks up and stuck the dowel in, and then I also put the roll of paper on that. Really easy but really cool, so you could pull the paper down and draw on it. And I'm going to show you, hopefully show you videos of that on the iPad if the iPad's going to cooperate. It's not new. It's pretty old. So we'll see if it'll cooperate. If it won't, I can post the videos underneath this afterward. So it's really easy. You don't even have to prime the masonite board. All I did was use primer, and I took, what you want is zero nap. You want like a smooth foam roller, and then you just roll the primer on, and usually it needs to dry about 2 hours, and then you can go back in with the chalkboard paint. And I have Valspar, but I've used I'm trying to think of what other brand, what's the other major brand that I had. I can't think of it, but it doesn't really matter which one you use, just a chalkboard paint. And that I think takes about, I think that also takes about 2 hours to dry. I will check. I don't have my readers on, so I can't check. I will check. And they could all be a little different too. The other one I believe was 2 hours, but I'll have to check and see what this one is. They can be a little bit different. So it takes a little time to do a chalkboard wall, but it's really very easy if you have the right tools. When I did my son's wall, I had never done it before. I looked up directions, and there were some major people that do like stuff associated with houses, and they all said to get a 1/4 inch nap roller, and I was kind of surprised. I thought, well, wow, I thought you would want a smooth one, right? I mean, you know, I went to college for art. That's just what I thought, but I'm like, well, I've never done this before, so they must be right. Nope. Trust your intuition. I don't know why they said that, but then you have to sand, and let me tell you, that stuff dries rock hard. I seriously thought that my hands were going to fall right off of my wrists. I mean, they were numb from sanding, and I had an electric sander, and it still just took forever. So then when I did the sheet ones, you do have to sand the wall. Let me just tell you, yes. And they didn't even say to do that, but yes, you want to sand the wall because you want, if it's not perfectly smooth, you want a smooth surface to start. Then if you use a foam roller and you want to prime it, what I did is I measured out the area and drew a pencil perimeter, and then I sanded everywhere where the chalkboard was going to be, so you can get right to the edge without going past the pencil mark. And then I used a tack cloth to get all the dust off, and then you want to get some painter's tape, and then you can put that around the edge. And then you want the foam roller for the primer, and then you can rinse it out, let the primer dry for about 2 hours, and then you can go back in with the blackboard paint, and it will take about 3 coats. But when you use the foam roller, it's super easy. It just takes some time because you got to let it dry, but it is so easy. So don't get anything with a nap and then have to sand. It's a pain in the butt. Oh my gosh. I got it done just in time for when my son came home to see it, and he loved it. But yeah, I did get some mussels. They're gone now. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you now. Oh, and let me show you a little trick too. I've got a think I've got, anybody else, it's like that time of the month, anybody else gets so clumsy, no hand-eye coordination, it kind of just disappears. And like I haven't had my hair cut, I'm so overdue, I can't stand it. I almost feel like cutting it myself. I'm not going to, but I gotta get better at scheduling my appointments. Okay, this will help. Anytime you paint, you wanna take, my dad taught me this, you wanna take a nail and a hammer and just go around and make holes around it, because then the paint will drip through there and you'll have less mess running down the edges. You're still gonna have some, but it won't be nearly as bad. It won't be as messy. So that's what I like to do. It might help to have a thicker nail too, but this is just what I had on hand. It's still, you know, it's still good. There you go. Okay, so then of course you want to mix it really well. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to use the other end in case the primer wasn't all the way dry. So I'm going to stir this up. I do know you got to stir this up really well. I did look into doing a magnetic chalkboard wall because I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have both? Yeah, the reviews for that were not good. I guess it's hard enough to get the magnets to stick if you do just the magnetic paint, but if you mix it with the chalkboard paint, they really don't stick very well. So it didn't really, and it's a lot of work. And I just thought, if you don't even know they're gonna stick well, I don't mind doing work if it's gonna turn out well in the end, but I just thought, I'm not gonna take that chance. So I went on Amazon, I love Amazon, and they had a huge, you know, pretty good size dry erase board that's also magnetic. So I'm like, perfect, you know, got that, stuck it next to the chalkboard. So we had the chalkboard wall, the dry erase magnetic board, and the I'm just making sure I really scrape the bottom to make sure it's all stirred up well. And yeah, there we go. And then the roll of paper on the dowel with just the, you know, the regular hooks that you just screw in to the wall. Really easy. And got the paper on Amazon too, the roll of paper. I can see if I can find the link. It was, like I said, it was a few years ago, but I'm sure I would be surprised if they didn't still carry it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit in here. And so I'm probably going to end up doing, usually, you know, sometimes this only needs 2, but on a wall you usually need 3. I might need 3 for this, but I'll just get you started and show you. It's really easy. See how it's, you know, it's not going to totally cover the first time. You definitely have to do more coats. But it's so easy with the roller, and it goes so much faster, and it's going to be, you know, a lot smoother. So really the only time, piece of hair. I don't have a lot of hair, but I still shed. Yeah, so really, when you do it on the wall, I mean, you could sand in between coats, but I found that once I started using the roller, I really didn't need to. Once I finally got it smooth by sanding the heck out of it. It was crazy. Yeah, literally my hands turned numb and were shaking. That's how bad it was. You don't want to do that. I liked, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Then when I looked up, sometimes when you troubleshoot is when you find out the real directions. And that's exactly what happened. I troubleshooted, you know, chalkboard wall, you know, I don't know if I put in sanding, I forget what I put in. And then I saw the real way to do it. And I was like, that's what I thought originally. So I just like to save people that trouble, because you don't want to do that. You don't. Learn from my mistake. So I will just finish painting this, and I'll have to let it dry. So, but you guys get the idea. This is just how you do it. Super easy. You know, you just do as many coats as you need, but it's nice because it really it turns out great in the end. So let me see if we can show you those videos that I took. Let's see if this is gonna work. So this is what you want to do when you're all done doing all the layers. This is called priming. You want to prime the chalkboard wall. You just turn the chalk sideways and just cover the whole surface. And then you want to just take like a little cloth or something and just like blend it in. And the reason for that is because otherwise anything you draw on the chalkboard wall, you're not going to be able to completely erase it. So this way you get it kind of dirty with chalk, and then it'll kind of all blend in, and then when you draw on it, you'll be able to erase it pretty well. And then this is just to show you what it's crazy. I don't know if you can see it all, but like above it I made frames. And I've had health problems, but even so, like it's been a long time, and I never finished painting the frames, and my paint had gotten gloppy and dried out, and I just started it, and I just never finished it. I gotta still do that. But because you can just paint like a frame on the wall, and then when they do their artwork, they can just stick it up there with painter's tape or something to frame it, which is kind of cute. So yeah, that's this chalkboard wall. It's really, I just used around the edges of it, right in there, I just used enamel paint. You can use like, or like even satin paint, or like the shiny, the shiny paint, just because then you can wipe the chalk off of it more easily. But yeah, it's actually, it takes some time, but it's actually easy to do. So if you're thinking of doing this, the kids love it. His friends love coming over in his room and using the chalkboard wall. So I will post a picture when I'm all done doing the coats on this. And I can post the videos too in case you just want to look at them again. I'm glad they actually worked for this video. You never know how things are going to go when you get them live, when you do them live. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, just let me know. Really, any primer will work. Just any white primer, and then just use the chalkboard paint. It's pretty easy. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye.